What's good, everybody? Yeah, it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, I had a really awesome panel. That was yesterday on my channel called Why African American Men Are Leaving the Black Church for Good. And it was organized at the request of one Dr. Sean Wallace. He goes by the YouTube channel of Dr. Thunder, PhD, Professor of Jazz Studies at Ohio State University. And to be honest, I didn't want to do it. The reason why is, I'm just very busy. I'm tired as hell. I'm in the hospitals all damn day. And but he was very persistent. I was trying to cancel the shit and he just wouldn't let me. I'm very thankful that he didn't. And so give him a round of applause. I was able to meet some wonderful, intelligent African American men. Pastor John Coates. I was able to meet him, a very, very smart man. Brother T.K. Coleman, Brother Hamilton Harden, Cedric Easton. But I want to draw your attention to Reverend Joel Brooks, who is a prominent pastor out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, who also was on the panel. Now, also, Pastor Brooks is a super intellectual, highly intelligent man. And at the end of the show, he proposed an idea. What would be the perfect church for black men? And since I'm the moderator on these discussions, I'm pretty much controlling the flow of the panel, at least when we hook up and get together, all of us. That's what it looks like. I won't have the opportunity to put my 2 cents in because there's just so many people on the panel. I have to make sure everybody else talks. So what I'll do is I'll stand on my square today and answer the Honorable Pastor Joel Brooks question right now. Pastor, with all due respect, and I love your ideas of men's ministry. I believe you're on to certain things in your tenureship. But for me, the perfect church for black men has one rule. There can be no black women in it. There cannot be any black women in it. And guys are looking at me a little crazy, wondering what I mean by say this. Am I being misogynistic? No, this actually has nothing to do with black women themselves. It has everything to do with black men. And I'm gonna talk about this because number one, when black women come into the church, with a lot of our young black men and older black men, we got to understand fundamentally that most black men are not mature enough to handle religious services with women involved. Okay? Men are just too, I hate to say it, too dumb. Okay? And when women come into the church or places of worship, brothers are not going to be focused on the word of God, on the message. Niggas going to be looking at this ass. All right? And it's going to be highly, highly, highly disruptive. And next thing you know, brothers is out there in the choir stand trying to get somebody's number. You know, you have all of this stuff. Women will be able to get their way, and then you will have infighting amongst the group. The pastor sleeping with you. See, you have all of these different things, right? And these things are going to happen. And then when you're dealing with black men who already come from a lot of times a scarcity mindset, a distrust with other black men, you cannot allow women in there for the safety of black men and black women. Okay? If you want more infidelity, then do that. You have to keep the women separate from these guys while black men clean themselves up. Those brothers that are Christian and want to do this. Black men have to understand how to respect each other, have to appreciate each other. And if black men are going to do that, black women cannot be involved. Okay? Simple as that. Whenever we talk about healing the African American male community, the first people that have to be out of that equation are women. They cannot be included. Because until black men start to have conversations with one another, now it's okay to have conversations with women, we understand that. But the black men have to be the leaders of the community. They have to trust one another. They have to respect one another as our own people. Respect each other as brothers. When women are involved, it's going to be hard for brothers to do that because we don't come from a culture. That a culture has to be established. And you cannot establish that when you want to get black men together, putting women in the conversation. That's not going to work. Got to get the women out of the church. If it's the same church, the women have to be separate from these guys. Okay? Also, we'd have to worry about guys showing out for the women in church. Trying to dress too flossy to impress women in church. Trying to talk on the microphone. See, all of that, we would remove all of that as it is. Second thing. The perfect church for black men involves accountability. Black men know one thing, and the pastors know this. Pastor Brooks, Pastor Coates. I like Pastor Coates. I think he's going to hoop one day. I want him to hoop and holler out there in Columbus now. Doc, I'm going to tell you something. I know you know that, and this, you might not want to say it. You're not going to be able to hold black women accountable too much in the black church. Because there's too much buffoonery going on with, oh, you hate women and you're misogynistic, and you cannot tell black women the truth in church. You can't tell them the truth nowhere, which is why I don't waste my time really talking to black women on my platforms. So I tell you what we do. Since we want to hold folk accountable, then we don't talk to the women. Because we want to be able to hold black men accountable. See, it's too hard to hold women accountable, so we won't talk to them. But see, one thing that I can do if you're a man, I can't hold black women accountable, but I can tell you what you need to be doing and for you to set standards for yourself. So if that sisters don't want to follow those standards, and while the black men are coming together to build a community that protects men and women, they'll be out. See, you can say that if you have a church full of men. But you can't say that with them there. You can't have them there having this conversation. Black men need to be able to hold each other accountable and have to not have the stress of holding women accountable. See, get women out of there, you ain't got to worry about that. It's more of a stress-free environment. The women can hold each other accountable, and if they don't, they won't receive the rewards of these black men that are coming together to build something. Let me also talk to you about this. In today's social conditions, the black church has really failed to discuss certain things that black men need, the things that they're going to. The Bible answers a lot of things, but also the church has to talk about the time that we're living in. And the time that we're living in, black men are having social issues with certain women are dating. We have a lot of single mothers in the church. We have to be able to have conversations about women that might be a little off the record. And you guys saw that when Pastor Coates and Pastor Brooks was on the panel, maybe some of their church members maybe never seen them in that light before. And the reason why is because they were probably able to have a more of a male-dominated conversation that hits home to black men where black men can understand it. You can't do that with women in there. women are going to be a little bit too sensitive to that. We're going to need to be able to talk about sex. Okay? Being realistic about condoms, booty, tricking, simping. See, some of those things we're gonna have to talk about in these meetings. Why? Because they're for men. Men need to be able to expand on the topic. Okay? Pull that topic off. And we need to be able to have a more of a male-dominated conversation that women can't interrupt because their feelings gonna be hurt. And the service ain't gotta be long. And then also too, none of the stupid running around, shouting, speaking in tongues, niggas falling down, all of this other stuff that niggas just, we don't understand why we do that. None of that feminine stuff that's going on. Okay? A lot of us would not rather be around that. So if you don't have women in the church, you don't have to worry about niggas showing out doing that to try to impress somebody. So we gonna stop all that track relay system that's going on in these churches. Niggas running around like they ain't got no damn sense. Okay? We're gonna have more of a logical conversation, and we can only meet 1 hour. We ain't gotta be there all day, hooping and hollering long with it all night. Give me 1 hour rev, 90 minutes, go back home, watch the game. This is the perfect church for black men, in my opinion. So, guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first comment pinned at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Check out the Patreon. I'm out.